Okay, so I'm Steve Mitchell,
I'm Craig Van Sickle.
and we're here today to talk to Emmanuel at Movie Do TV, or is it Film Do TV?
It's dude. In any
It,
case, it's dude.
he's the dude, and that's all that
Yes.
matters.
Yeah.
We're going to do our countdown of the top five movies we are anticipating for 2015, and before we just jump in, Craig, I kind of figure there's one problem I see in this list. Uh, First, there isn't a sequel to Pumpkinhead 2 on the horizon, and I just kind of think that a movie written by two people with very funny pen names they should be acknowledged here.
I think so too. I just sort of put that aside because I was so irate that Pumpkinhead 2,
Right.
or in this case, Pumpkinhead, what, 3 or 4?
It could be three or four, and
It wasn't there.
Ivan and Constantine Ciccone. All I can say is they don't get the respect they deserve. Now, I also noticed that, and I kind of look at this as sort of a sin in the film world, that Ski Patrol has never been sequelized or remade.
Yeah, but we do have a Paul Feig movie on our list.
Well, we do have a Paul Feig movie. Okay, so
as everybody knows, he kind of learned his chops on Ski Patrol. I mean, in one way or another.
yes, he did. Okay,
How not to do it, I suppose.
I guess so. Okay, so let's just jump in. What do you say? Yes, no, or maybe?
Yeah. You want to hear my number 5?
Let's hear your number
We'll
five.
go from 5 to 1.
Okay,
My number 5 is Poltergeist.
and why is that?
Well, I love Sam Rockwell, and I'll see anything he's in. But, it's basically because, what you and I do is we do weird.
True.
So I kind of figure it's got to be weird, right? So
How could it
what's
not be?
that like?
And I love the original Poltergeist. That's an interesting one. My number five is kind of out there a little bit. It's the Bourne Identity 5. And I'm not doing it just because of the fives. I mean, I love the first three Bourne Identities. The fourth one I was kind of, not indifferent, but I didn't like it as much, obviously, as the first three. But since, identity has been a subject that we've dealt with, whether it was through the Pretender TV show or the movies or the Pretender novels now, I've always been fascinated with, a hero searching for his identity. And, I just like that, people are out there doing similar things. And I've always been a big Bourne fan. So are you going to see the Bourne Identity 5?
Of course.
Of course you are.
Yeah, because you're right. It is very, with the books Rebirth and Saving Luke that we've been doing, it's right in our wheelhouse and what we love. So I think there will be some good parallels there.
Yeah, and I love Rimmer. So
Yeah, it's good.
okay, I'll go with my number 4. My number 4 is Jurassic World. And partly it's because I was such a fan of all the Jurassic Park movies, but also Amanda Silver and Rick Jaffe, who are, as you know, my brother and sister-in-laws, they actually wrote it. And like right off of the Rise of the Planet of the Apes and whatnot. So they've given me some tidbits along the way, and I think this one might be really good.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll see that for sure. Anything Rick and Amanda do.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And anything with big lizards.
That's right. Big eggs. Gotta have big eggs.
Okay, so what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Mad Max Fury Road. And the reason I like that is because, well, it's George Miller. He's back, the original, writer, director. They say Mel's going to have a cameo. It takes place before Road Warrior. So it sounds like a cool reboot and all the action and fun stuff that, George Miller's brilliant. Now that he's done with Talking Pigs,
Wow.
It's time for another Mad Max movie.
But but you can never top the Talking Pigs. No, I love the original Mad Max and I really the whole series, so I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Absolutely.
Now I have an honorable mention on number 4,
Okay.
which isn't there, and it's my honorable mention is unless there's a Bad Grandpa 2, it will be Ted 2.
Ted 2, I agree. Yeah. That's Ted 1 was just had me on the floor.
Yeah, and they were both those are classic films, not just movies, films.
Yeah,
So,
they are films. They're motion pictures.
they're motion pictures, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Number 3, what do you like?
My number 3 is called Selfless. And I kind of, from what I've seen and read into it, it sort of feels like Seconds, that old Rock Hudson movie where he gets a new body kind of thing. But
Right.
again, it sort of reminded me of the weird stuff that we like to do, and a little Pretender-like, but it's this guy who gets his brain and memory and his whole being injected into a younger body. He's
Oh, that's
guy,
cool.
and this young guy's on the run, and as you know, like our character in Pretender, Jared, is always on the run, and it just seemed like there was kind of in that strange world.
Well, I've always loved that kind. I haven't actually heard anything about Selfless, but I do want to check that out. That sounds really great. My number three is
It's
it's Ryan who?
Ryan Reynolds, who everybody says you look like. So,
I know it. I know it. It's like watch. See? Do you see it?
yeah, it's there.
It's there. It's there. Um,
That's your three.
yeah. My number three is Mockingjay Part Two, Hunger Games. I think Jennifer Lawrence is brilliant. I love those books. You know, we should be so lucky to have our books be accepted in that way because it's just the writing in those books were just wonderful, and in the movies as well. I've just really enjoyed them. And also, just there's something about the way Jennifer's character just relates and will do anything for her family and is finding her way in the world that is just I don't know. I'm fascinated with those, and I love those movies. So I'll definitely be there.
Cool.
So let's see. That takes us to number two, and I think my number two is one that you may have heard of. It's a TV show we grew up watching, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And I really can't wait to see what Guy Ritchie has done with this. It was always like a favorite cult show growing up, and I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, I grew up with that show, and not to date myself, but you know, and I gotta say, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. had a part of the inspiration for The Pretender, secret organization. You know, they're going against Thrush. We've got the Center. It's all that espionage, and I think Guy Ritchie's going to add a grit to it that's going to be really interesting. That I think we tried to have on the Pretender as well, and so I think he's going to make it grow up a little bit, which is good.
Well, I'm excited about that one. So, what's your number two?
My number two is Seventh Son.
No,
S-O-N. It's basically a CGI action movie. Seventh Son of the Seventh Son is responsible for saving the world from evil. It's got Jeff Bridges in it, who, you know, by the trailer anyway, he looks like the dude, but he's playing Yoda. So I'm down for that.
The Lebowski is probably my favorite movie, or certainly my favorite comedy of like the last 25 years. Yeah. And I love that. And I love that, you know, I don't know. I've always loved the romanticism of all of that.
It's got a great mentor because Jeff Bridges is training this young kid who doesn't know he's the seventh son.
Well, and that hero called to face the world and face his fate and face his destiny is obviously something we did with Tin Man when we redid The Wizard of Oz. But it also kind of is a good lead into my number one that I'm dying to see, which is Star Wars 7. You know, as you know, maybe some people out there don't. It's like when I was, a child, sitting in the theater and watching Star Wars the first time, and that battlecruiser came over, I sunk down in my seat and thought, "This is what I want to do." And the idea that, you know, it has always been a part of my life, and I know a part of the world. I mean, it's the greatest mythology of the 20th century. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the new team has done, or, you know, kind of George handing the baton off to JJ and seeing what they will do. And, you know, I know you and I know about this, but a lot of people don't know that George was, you know, called us one day being a fan of the Tin Man and also the Pretender and asking us if we'd come up and spend a couple weeks, which we should really write a blog about because it was an incredible story. And because of that influence, I just can't wait to see what they're doing. But now I understand that your number one is also kind of a different number one, but was one of my numbers earlier than one.
My number one is, that's right, Man from U.N.C.L.E., which we've talked about. But with an honorary mention to, the title alone, you know, it's a Will Ferrell, Kevin Hart movie. That's directed by Paul Feig of Ski Patrol fame.
Okay, and I believe... Well, it's funny that we've really kind of talked about three of the greatest movies of all time in what we're talking about here. The Star Wars, I understand, and Ski Patrol, and, of course, Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings.
Yes.
So, there's no... Is that a mistake? I don't think so.
You got to hit the classics, right, on any countdown list.
Exactly. And I think Feig is a genius, and, you know, he may have brought Stanley, the original nerd, to life, but he's really gone on to have a great career, and I'm a big fan of his.
Talented guy.
All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell Emmanuel's and all the people at moviedude.tv.com Hello.
Well, just keep keep going to the theater, keep watching TV, and occasionally read a book
Yeah.
because there's a
Well,
lot of good books out there. We're proud to say and announce that we're doing a series of Pretender novels. The first one available on Amazon and worldwide came out in October. Saving Luke is our second book, which comes out in April. Same outlets, Amazon, anywhere you can go online, you can find our book. And visit the Pretender world because our website is thepretenderlives.com, and we got some great stuff going on. We appreciate your input.
yeah, it's really cool. And, we can also tell everybody it's like the first two novels are basically going to be the basis of, hopefully in a couple of years, people will be sitting here talking about their top 5 movies, and the one they'll be waiting for is The Pretender, because we're coming. Anyhow, thanks, guys, for your time, and hopefully we have something to say about these movies. We're looking forward to them. We'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye.